Yeah.
most of the teams in the playoffs doing pretty well are all built through the draft.
Honestly, most of the teams in these playoffs outside of the Knicks mostly was built through the draft. Uh, Celtics, obviously, Tatum and Brown were there with them people. OKC, full of young boys. Houston, full of young boys. Pacers, full of young boys. Cavaliers, full of young boys, plus Mitchell.
Pistons.
Um, Pistons, full of young boys. Like this. It seems that a lot of teams have kind of bought into the development, or more or less, they kind of realize that you have to buy into development these days because, like our last conversation, some of these guys just don't they don't know basketball as much as some of the vets do, which is kind of explaining why. Not to say I had this conversation with a guy earlier. He was like, "You can't live on ifs, like if ifs and buts and that old parable." But if Golden State still had Steph, Timberwolves would still be having trouble just because of that veteran presence that that team brings. Without Steph, obviously they have little to no offense, but it's cool to see these young teams kind of imposing their will on more or less this older generation, knock them out the way and kind of taking a head lead.
which I think they need to do so they can
Hmm.
get those extra viewers and stuff. Because with, the old heads about to, clock out, they need all of, they need all the hype right now. And I
Yeah,
think the fact that they're using like the playoffs in this stage and moment in time to really like show their skills and show who they are, this is high key perfect. All the young bucks, they're showing what they got in the playoffs, trying to knock out all the whole old heads like you were saying. So, I mean, this is their opportune time. One of them boys could make it all the way to the finals. It's crazy. It would be a really great way to watch the younger generation come in as the older generation is about to. It's almost like they're being left in good hands because it's like, who would
yeah.
be watching it if LeBron or Steph or whatever wasn't playing anymore? You're kind of concerned, but these new wave of young bucks, I mean, it's nice
They can hoop.
to see.
They can hoop. You think the NBA's rigged to stir it
I mean,
to
at this
push
point, I guess
this
also.
way?
Sober,
I
sober.
don't know about
I
that,
like
but
it. I can't say
just thought.
all the way because the biggest talk has been about the lottery, and
Yeah.
Bruh.
but like my thing is with the
You got
lottery, I can't. No, dude, no, for real. But then also, I can't see like I can't remember who said. I think it was Rich Eisen. It's like I can't see the owners of Utah, uh, Charlotte, and all these other teams them being like, yeah, I'm gonna let them get that. I think it's fine that Mavericks trade away Luca and then they get to get the number one pick. It's like this like there is so much that has to happen and so many faces to that. At some point, it would have got leaked. So there's no way that it could have been happened like that. It's just they traded the way to do, and
but
they
it's
happen to be able to get it because it's not like at
the
like
commission.
every good franchise has
The
won the
commission.
lottery.
I don't know. That seemed like a setup.
It low key
It
does, but
definitely
think
do.
about the Pelicans won and they got Zion. The Spurs went through a couple bad years and they got Wemby. Uh,
No. The
Hell,
Spurs
the
went through
Pelicans got
bad
it
years.
twice with AD and Zion.
Bad team though. Like,
Yeah, and the Spurs
The
just
lottery
out
is a
of
lottery.
nowhere.
It's like you literally, it don't
Look,
matter
look,
who gets it.
look. The
Like the Spurs
Spurs
got the number
lucked
two
out
pick.
and got Wimby. They lucked out and got Wimby. Come on now. He's a French guy going over to Popovich. Like, come on, bro.
right.
That is a setup. Ain't no way
Of course,
that should even
I
happen.
think that, like I said, there it's like a teeter totter kind of thing to where it kind of is and it kind of isn't. Like overall, it is a lottery, but how can the Pelicans still be trash, still AD and
So
Boogie at
okay,
one
I got
point,
you.
and
I
then you
got you.
lucked out and got
I got you.
Zion again?
How did the Chicago Bulls luck out and get Chicago hometown guy Derrick Rose in the draft? Like that doesn't happen. I don't care how the lottery looks like. That's just not LeBron James going to Cleveland up the street from Akron. Out of all places, come
I
on
think
now.
there's a setup, but there's also some luck to go into these situations. It's like you always have a plan. You can't go into these situations without having a plan, because if you do, you're gonna be sitting there looking stupid.
Yeah, Silver.
But there's also
Yeah, Silver. The plan was
what,
get
Silver?
Luca to one of my big markets and get Luca to the big market, and I'm gonna guarantee you that with your 1.8% that you're gonna get the first pick of the draft.
So why did the Spurs
See,
get the
in
second?
my opinion,
He sold his soul to the devil. That's exactly what.
who's the second? Who's the second team in the? You said Spurs are it, right? But who's the second? The second pick.
Shoot, I feel like they said like the top 5 picks are like top tier, and then after that it's still pretty good. But then after that, it's like, yeah, I think like the first
But
20 or first like 10, 15 picks are
you're
real solid this year.
you're setting up the Spurs for a long run, right? Because the organization is built correctly. So you're setting up Spurs to do well in the long run because they look good for the NBA. They look like, oh, our small market team has won a championship. Like that's what you're looking at. But you're not giving it to Charlotte. You feel me? Like this. That's what I'm saying. Like some teams are not getting those luck of the Irish type of picks. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting
All right, cool.
it. And
Cool. Let's switch
it's
this
just
slightly then to our conversation that we had in the chat. Why does it work so well for the NFL, but it don't work for the NBA?
because the NBA hasn't tried it.
Or is it just a simple lack of development? It's like
I
the
mean, yeah,
trashiest
Olympic.
teams can, okay, look here. The trashiest team in the NFL can continually, Browns, Charlotte, whoever, they can continually get these top picks, and they trash. But then you get small market teams like Kansas City, Green Bay, St. Louis, who eventually became the LA. But all the time like that, they recognize of certain measures that they need to take, they make them, and they get to the highest level. You
That is
can tell me
that.
it's rigged all you want, but when I have proof that small markets and these people outside of big markets can win, I look at nothing but your management and ownership. You can
You're
blame
right, and this is
rigging
where
all you
you
want,
are 100%.
but and I believe, like I
You are
said, it
100%.
is there to some extent, but it's a little shaky on the plane. There's a lot of
Well,
turbulence
that
there.
you are
I can't fully say that it's rigged.
you are 100% in the part where you're saying that it is based off your management team or the team that you have or whatnot. However, if that is the case, let's test it out. Because if NBA owners in these small markets rarely get the opportunity to do the things that they need to do in order to have a successful team long term, then maybe it is something wrong with the process. And you again, development is an issue, but your management style is definitely a problem as well.
So what's so bad about putting it to an organization that we know it can do it? It's I don't like it to a degree because you hope that some change occurs. But like OKC, this is like their second iteration of getting it right. It took a lot of time after KD and them left for them to get it right again. We think the Spurs have all the talent, but who's to say that it's actually gonna work out? You know? Yeah, we see the Lakers got Luca, but who's to say that they actually win anything? We don't know. You just got to see how it plays out, or even if they keep him. We don't know.